So I will send out the link to this afterwards. All right. All right, let's get started here. For some reason my PowerPoint doesn't feel like connecting here. There we go. All right, so as I said, I'm Jessica Wirt, the Customer Success Manager here at Simplesoft. We also have Kevin Miller on with us. He is the Solution Specialist at InboxGuru. So he is going to be on as a resource as well. And Kevin, feel free at any time to jump in and interrupt me and add to anything I'm covering.
Sure thing, we'll do.
Just a quick look at some upcoming events. Next week, we have an executive discussion on sales leadership and success in the CRM. And then in June, we have an upcoming configure price quote demonstration, and as well as any of our customers that may be on that use CSI, Sightline, ERP. We'll have a partnered event with an ERP partner, Solutions X, in June as well. So be sure to check out our calendar. As I mentioned, these are the welcome and introductions. We're going to do the demo of InboxGuru and then get to some Q&A. And just quickly before I start the demo, I did want to just talk real briefly about what is InboxGuru and why you use it. And so InboxGuru is a subscription-based marketing platform that is specifically designed to live within your Infor CRM and seamlessly integrate. And I'll show you how that looks here in a moment in the demo. And why use InboxGuru? Just like any other marketing platform software that you're going to purchase, it does your email blasts, your nurture campaigns to generate leads. But what InboxGuru brings it to the next level with Infor CRM by allowing you to create steps and sales actions within a campaign for your sales team to follow up on leads. And it also allows your marketing team to further qualify a lead or bring it along in the journey. And it gives you the opportunity to give auto responses and call scripts and all types of actions, again, that I'll review with you. It allows you to create lead capture forms that can easily be shared via a link on social media or within your emails. And it can even generate an HTML code that you can host on your existing website to capture leads from your Contact Us page. The biggest thing is the last bullet that I tell our customers is you need to build your InboxGuru to work in parallel with your sales process to give you the best ROI. Meaning, if you have a lead process flow that you follow into opportunities, make InboxGuru do some of the work for you, as I mentioned, with the sales team actions, and it can auto-generate tickets for you or opportunities and etc. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to switch screens here. Okay. All right. Okay, so as you can see here on the screen is your InboxGuru, Infor CRM screen. And when you have InboxGuru, it will be in the left navigation. You'll see here down at the bottom, you click InboxGuru. So it lives right within your Infor CRM, no need to log into another program. And when you click on it, it gives you all your options. The items I'm going to review today are items that are available for the small, medium business package and up. So a lot of these items are not available with the email only subscription. So just FYI, and I can talk in more detail with anybody about that after the call. So the first thing I was going to show are the email templates. So InboxGuru gives you the drag and drop option. It gives you the WYSIWYG, the what you see is what you get, where if you'd like to build it that way, you can do that as well. I'm going to create a new template here, and I'm going to use the drag and drop feature. They preload lots of different template layouts if you'd like. I usually just start with the one column, and you hit create. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to name it. And so once within, something to note too is you have an image library where you can upload all your own product images, logos, any images you'd like. But InboxGuru also gives you a preloaded image library that you can use again and again within your templates included in your subscription. So it gives you a basic layout, and it's structured in rows and content blocks. Again, all this can be customized. It just lays out some options for you. When you click within a text box, it brings up your text editing. You can move these content blocks around, and it lets you know where. You can delete them. And as you see, as you click, on the right-hand side, your options for editing change based on whether you're in the row or the content block. When you click the picture and come over here to the right and select change image, I'll show you this is the part where you can get to what you've uploaded for images. So this would be your image library. And then here, as you see, the button that says search free photos is where you have access to search thousands of pictures to use. And it will bring up options for you. And then you can import these into your library, and then it stays and lives in your library for you to use again and again. We'll insert this cat picture, why not? So that's how easy it is. You can click and you can add effects, resize the picture right within here as well. You can link the picture. So there's lots of options within here. I recommend creating a base template for your company and preloading all your social icons, your unsubscribe message at the bottom, because you can copy templates to reuse them, so you don't have to recreate the wheel every time you're in here with preloading all your website and social links and footers and messaging. You can kind of start with a base. Kevin, anything that you want to add to the template editor that you think is worth noting?
Yeah, there's a couple things I think that are good. And if you don't mind going over to preview mode, if you could hit the eyeball, please.
Yep.
Yeah, the big thing about this, it's a very good block editor, drag and drop editor. It's really, I would put it up against any editor on the market today. You know, comparable with the MailChimps of the world, etc. in terms of ease of use and its flexibility. One of the big things is that it is a full responsive designer. There's two types of responsive designers. There's a responsive designer and a full responsive designer. And what a full responsive designer, if you could flip into the mobile view, please. And what a full responsive designer does is it stacks and resizes everything, including the H1s, the text, the images, etc. Some responsive designers will resize but not stack. And what I mean by stack is if there's a dual column, like, you know, like an image and a text block side by side, it will properly stack those on top of one another. Whereas in some systems, they actually only do the resize and they'll shrink the whole thing down, and it creates a not so great experience. And you know, this is pretty critical because with each passing day, the amount of emails that are first opened on mobile grows. Some stats put it at 60% now. And in order for your emails to really perform well, you want those first opens on mobile to really look great, because a lot of times what happens, especially in business emails, is people open them first on mobile, and then if they like it, they keep it and they go back to it on desktop later. So it's really, really important that your stuff looks good on mobile, and that's one of the things that is a strength of this designer. It's no small thing to point out.
That's great, thank you. Yeah, and something to note too that I just thought of that's nice is if you do put two images in and you do your preview and you see it on mobile and you think it's too much and it's making the email look too long, you can hide certain images on mobile. It gives you that option as well on your editor.
That's correct. Yep, you could have a mobile version and a full desktop version.
So you see here down at the bottom where it says hide on. So I like that feature as well. Something else I do like to point out in here is the ability to link within. So not only can you do your hyperlinks, obviously, for websites or your social site, but you can link to for it to generate an email, and the file manager. So you can upload things to your image library. For instance, I use InboxGuru to send you the invite for this event, and I had a saved a calendar in there, and it automatically opened up an Outlook invite for you to save to your calendar. I use the file manager to do that. You can hyperlink a telephone number. Again, as Kevin said, a lot of people open on their phones. So hyperlinking the telephone numbers to auto pull up as a phone call, or if you use an SMS program for your business, you can do that as well.
The thing I like about that feature is I use that in the buttons a lot. So if you scooch out of there and go down to that button, one of the nice things that the system does is it allows you to create your own call to action button. So you can go over on the right hand side, you could change the size of that button, you could change the color of that button, you could change the call to action on that button to email, to direct link, etc. So you've got a lot of different options. And if you don't have that feature and you want to put little call to action buttons in your email, you're usually creating those outside, and they may not look good, or they're not going to be responsive when you put them into your email. So, this all goes to creating, true responsive emails. Everything right down to the buttons that you put in, it's very detail oriented how the designer handles all this stuff. So that's a nice feature. It's very, very common to use if you're sending out like a webinar invite, or you're sending out a white paper and you want to say click to download, anything along those lines, call to action. That button feature, I can't underestimate its convenience.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you can resize and realign. Yep, that is good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to step out of email campaigns, or I'm sorry, the templates, and take a look at the campaigns. All right, so a great feature that I like about InboxGuru is, like I had mentioned on the previous slide, is all the steps, the automation that you can create within your sales process using InboxGuru. Now, this is a very complex campaign here, but as you can see, let me zoom it in some here. You can have your emails. You can pick a specific date to send them. You can pick a certain number of days in between based on an action. So you can say, send this email, and if a link is clicked, 2 days later, send them this email. You can go down and you can create actual decisions. So this is for a webinar. So you can say, okay, if they registered, take them this way. If they didn't, take them this way. As you can see here, there's a call script you can create. And you can assign it to a specific account manager, and you can type in your call script here that you want them to follow up. You go back to the campaign. And again, the best part of this is the automation of it. So all this can be working for you before the sales team even touches any of it. You can be bubbling up and qualifying these leads along, and then creating an action. So as you can see here, you can go all the way through, and these different actions can be based to trigger another action, such as creating where is it, Kevin, that you create the action at the end? Is that only in the landing page to create an opportunity or ticket?
Yes, if you wanted to generate opportunities and things along those lines, you would send people to a form, and then you can do a form action, or you can do that off of a score. So there's a number of ways to do that. Okay,
and I can show that in a moment.
Sure.
Any other, what do you think is worth hitting here in the campaign discussion of building these out?
So the thing about the campaigns, I like to just kind of describe it as such. So there's really kind of 3 types of campaigns you could build in the system. There's your garden variety bulk email, where you can send an email out to somebody and just report on the results, just like you would in MailChimp or you would in Constant Contact or any email marketing tool. And you basically can do drip-based campaigns as well. Now, a drip-based campaign is a little bit different. A drip-based campaign, if you look at these top blocks, it's essentially a sequence of communications over time. And there's a lot of very good practical uses for those. So, you know, you could spread them out by a specific calendar dates if it's an event, right? So let's say I have an event coming up on June 15th. You know, let's pretend the world is normal and we've got something happening. And I want to send a series of emails leading up to June 15th. I could say I want to send this one on Monday, and I want to send the next one on Friday, and I want to send the next one on the following Monday. And you lead right up to the event. That's a great use of a drip campaign. You can also do them relative time frames. So one of the interesting things that InboxGuru is able to do is it's able to read a change in the database of Infor. So you can, you know, have somebody enter what's called a dynamic group, and when they enter a dynamic group, it can automatically enroll them into a campaign, and this is done through campaign list sync. So each day, the system can go out and ping Infor to say, does somebody meet this group's criteria? And if so, we're going to send them this email or this sequence of emails. And a very common use for that, and as again, we're still talking about drip campaigns, would be onboarding. So let's say you sign up a new customer, and when you sign up a new customer, you want to send them 10 emails in a row, right, over the course of, let's say, 30 days. And that's your standard onboarding. So each day you tell the system, okay, I want to turn this on, and every day at 8 a.m., I want you to go out and say, look at the new customer group. And if anybody has been added to the new customer group, we want you to put them into this drip campaign. And then they're going to get that sequence of communications, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Drip campaigns are linear. There's no decisions. And you're going to get all the emails in a string unless you unsubscribe. Okay, so that's the nature of drip. Then you have what's called a nurture campaign. And nurture campaigns are like the bottom half of Jessica's campaign here. It has decision trees in it. And a common one would be if I put a call to action in an email. So let's say we use that button feature we were showing you, and there's a call to action there which says, you know, click to download this document. You download the document. And then what we do is we can put a decision in there to say, if somebody downloads this document, we want to schedule a call. And in essence, what happens is we schedule a task in Infor for the sales rep to follow up, right? And if they don't, then we could send them another email. We can kind of keep going down the campaign path. So the difference between the nurture and the drip is that there's branches and decisions to be made, okay? And oftentimes the way I'll describe it is that in a nurture campaign, we typically involve salespeople. Right, so that's where marketing and sales kind of sit around a table and say, listen, we want to plot this out, and hey, at this step, we're going to assign you a task, and you make sure you contact the salespeople will contact the prospects, and you have that kind of back and forth between sales and marketing. That's really the hallmark of a good nurture campaign. So those are the 3 primary campaigns you can build in the system. The main things that I tell people are, and what's different about, let's say, this or Marketo or any of these other systems on the market today, is that this is sitting on top of the Infor database. It's not synchronizing every 24 hours or anything along those lines. It's not maintaining 2 separate databases per se. It's sitting on top of the Infor database. So you can use all the things that exist inside of Infor anyway to drive all these communications. And you can use all of the data that exists inside of Infor to drive campaigns, everything from custom tables, like if you create a whole brand new table inside of Infor, all the data in that table is accessible to put people into a group, which then allows you to enroll them into a campaign. More often than not in Infor, this has to do with product tables. If you buy product A, maybe I want to sell you product B. So we could say, create a dynamic group of people who buy product A and then put them in a nurture campaign to sell them product B, right? So there's that kind of that interplay with the CRM database that's very unique to how InboxGuru does this.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm gonna jump over real quick and actually show that really quick. So now I'm gonna show you in accounts how it looks and what he means about the data. So for instance, you can create groups just like you do with any other group based on actions that happen in InboxGuru. So here's an account, and if you go to the notes and history, right, just where you review all your notes and history like normal in CRM, you can see the customer journey of this customer, where he's clicked on links, he's opened it, and then they moved through and spent time on the website, right? So Guru includes part of Guru is the website tracking, that you can put the tracking code on your site so they get cookied after they click a link in your email. And so now you can follow them along and see, well, now you brought them back for another 2 minutes on your website. And that, that was on this email. And so this is an easy way, again, to set up sales actions for salespeople to call. And this should be, and that's what we'll get into kind of a lead scoring too, where you can bubble these up and create a group that shows the hottest leads based on how you score them as a company, what's hot to you, right? Whether they went to the site or clicked links so many times. So this is what we mean by seamless integration. It all lives within Infor CRM. You don't have to export it from your marketing program and then import it over or try to analyze it on your own. It's all right here to easily make groups. So I'm going to go back and show you. So I'm going to talk about the landing pages, and this is where I was talking about the lead capture forms. And these, again, can be created to generate a link, and they can be created to generate the HTML to put on your website. And so what you do is you build out, looks similar, right, to the campaign, where you can have just a basic form and an end, or you can put a decision in there and create an action. And when I click on the form here, I'll show you how simple it is to build out your questions, right? So you can make the button say whatever you'd like, right? It could say request more info. It could say register if it's an event. Again, this is exactly how I built your registration form that you filled out to attend this webinar. So you can make these questions whatever you like. It's very simple. You hit the plus sign to insert a question after, or you use your actions to add a control. Again, you can copy forms. Once you've created one you really like, you can copy it, save it as a template so you don't have to recreate the wheel every time. Here's just a look at all the different options you have. You can create comment boxes, drop downs, checkbox for multiple selections of items they may be interested in. And then here I'll add a new one because I want to show you how it can map into CRM. So here you enter your question. You can require it. And then you can decide right here. So this is a lead form, so it's only allowing me to select lead. When you set up the pages new, you can select it to go in as a contact, and then it would give you contact fields here. And this is where you'd select where you want the answer to this question to map into the CRM. So when you capture this lead, say on Facebook, it's going to go ahead and automatically map it in your lead section of CRM with all the information that they filled out on the form. So that's how you're capturing those leads with these forms. And as you'll see here, go back to when you go to properties, something I like about these forms is you can customize the name of the URL. So here's your URL that you'd share on Facebook or as a link in your email, and you can change the URL and you can customize the end of it. You can even, if you're going to host it as a link, there's something called a skin. So what you do is back over here in email templates, you design a page just like you design an email template. So you can add your logo and social media clicks and whatever you like here, whatever verbiage, and drop the form in the middle of it, and it becomes a skin around the form. So that, whatever you select here, and then you save them, and you'll have all these options, right, to select from. And then the last thing I was going to cover, and then I'll turn it over to Kevin to cover other points, are, so the decision piece of these landers, what I was saying before, is the adding the action. So you can go here and edit the end actions, and this is where you can create it to generate a ticket, It can add them to another drip campaign. It can create an opportunity. So you can say, you know, if they answer the following question in this way, add them to a drip campaign, or create an opportunity that notifies your salesperson to call and follow up with them because they said they're interested in our new product. And as you can see here, you can add them to another drip to follow another journey. There's activities, so you can have it create to make a phone call to follow up. You can remove them from a drip. So I use that feature for when you guys fill out this form and you click register, I remove you from the drip so that you don't get the email 4 times reminding you to sign up. So there's lots of great features with those end actions that are very useful on these landing pages. Kevin, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think you covered most of it. Look, the reality is the forms designer in the system, it's comparable to typically to like an add-on forms tool that you might get in like a WordPress or something like that. I don't consider it to be like an unbounce or page design type tool. What it's really good at is it's really good at building a form that you can very easily drop into your website. That's the most common use case for this. You drop it into your website, whether it's WordPress, Drupal, Wix, otherwise. It's generating basically HTML, and then you drop it into your website, or you tag a form on your website, and then you can do all that really cool you know, post completion actions with it. That's the win. You know, the win is that it immediately gets piped right into your Infor database if you so choose, and then you could take all those automated actions on it. So saves a tremendous amount of time if you were using an outside forms tool, like if you're using like Gravity Forms on your website or something like that. So comparable in feature function to a Gravity Forms inside of WordPress, but it adds all that nice, you know, post form functionality, which is really the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can add notifications on here too to be alerted, or alert certain people when the form is completed so that they can be alerted right away. It has that capability as well.
Definitely. And if you have a form already that you don't want to change, you can actually tag an existing form as well, and you get the same results, right? So there's a little kind of what's called a REST API that you use in there, where I can tag the individual fields of a third-party form too. Like if you had a form tool that you said I'm not going to change, no problem. You can just tag that form, and then essentially what you're doing is you're bringing data into our form from a third-party form, and then taking all those post-form actions on it. So a lot of flexibility at work there.
Okay. Let's see if we can answer this question real quick. So Corey's asking, is InboxGuru able to capture UTM parameters within a URL and pass them through to CRM?
Yeah, the question is yes, it can through the REST API, as well as you have a field type, which can be basically a hidden field. So the short answer is yes. And then you could simply map those directly in to fields that exist inside of the Infor database. So most common use case for that is lead source, or a campaign name, or campaign ID, or if you want to pass any code in from Google, that would be the other use case for it. So short answer, yes.
And Rebecca, I will get with you on how to get your rights set up so you can see. So yes, so InboxGuru is a role assignment, if that's the correct way to say it, where you have to be assigned the role to be able to access this portion of it. So not all your, for instance, all your sales team doesn't need to see this. They just need to see the history and notes and results up in the CRM as notes. All right, now it's going to jump over to lead scoring and talk about that a little bit. And something else quickly too that I was going to point out. So you have in here several administrative actions you can do. One that is great is the unsubscribe designer. A lot of companies have specific messaging and things that you need or want to say when someone clicks on it. So you can do that here. I know that's asked of me a lot. And there's also ways you can block certain domains. A lot of our customers keep competitors in their database just for certain tracking reasons, but obviously they never want them having a chance of getting their emails. So people will put those domains on suppression lists as well. But let's see, take a look at scoring. So lead scoring is something where you, as a company, come up with how it's like a weighting actions in an InboxGuru campaign, right? So to you as a company, is an email click more important than if they opened it 10 times? Or is it a certain, maybe you want to see if they clicked on a certain link within the email, like perhaps a video to a new product or whatever, right? So that lead would be worth more than just a basic email click to your website. So that's where you can go in here and you can create, and you can select timelines and even down to which campaign or versus all campaigns. So there's lots of different ways to set this up. And you can choose, again, where to map these scores. And Kevin, am I correct that these go to history if you map them, correct? Where the lead score.
Yeah, that's correct. The actual numeric score will go to whichever field you choose. Most people create a field inside of Infor and call it score, and we'll map it there.
Okay. And then what you do from that is, once you have this up and running, then you create your groups over here in Infor for call lists for the sales team to follow up on, as well as you can even add them into a campaign, correct? Once a score gets to a certain point.
Absolutely.
You can put them into a different campaign.
Sure.
What are some other good points on lead scoring that we can cover?
Sales, I mean, really, when you think about what lead scoring is really meant to do, lead scoring is meant to be the trigger at which point we engage sales. So you can designate a score, let's say 25 points plus is what is considered to be an SQL, right? If you use a the traditional waterfall methodology of serious decisions, you have your MQL SQL models. You could say an MQL is 1 to 24, 25 plus is an SQL. Those end up going to sales, and then typically what you'll do is you'll put them into a group, and then the group could be assigned to a triage group inside of sales, to do additional qualification on it, and then assign it to the appropriate field reps. It really depends on what your makeup is of your sales team, but generally speaking, it's a trigger by which we want salespeople to be engaged with the leads.
And then I was going to quickly touch on web activity. So I had mentioned when I showed you how we captured kind of the customer journey in the notes and history fields up in the accounts in CRM. And that's based on generating your web activity code and putting it on your website. And again, like I said, they get cookied after they click a link from one of your emails. And then this is where it tracks it. Now it's similar to Google Analytics, where sometimes it doesn't give you the best information. It will capture anyone though who is in your CRM. So if the person is in your CRM, it will show their information here. This is a demo database. I'm not sure obviously how accurate this is going to be since it's not getting live sends from it. But it is a useful tool for the fact that, over here in the CRM, it's showing you people that have been on your website from your emails. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Kevin, are there any other items you want to hit on or talk about? And then I'm going to open it up for some questions.
Hey, sorry, my internet dropped there real quick. I'm back. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep, we sure can.
What was the question again? I'm sorry, Jessica.
Sure. So is there any other sections that you would like to point out or review? And then I can open it up for some questions too.
No, I mean, that's the main thing. Obviously, the website visitor tracking piece, the most useful things to bring up there is that's in lead scoring. Implicit web activity should be the most valuable of all the different activities, unless it's a form completion where people say I want to buy something, right? Implicit web activity is always the most valuable of the behavioral activity. So that's one of the main ways that we feed. We feed the lead scoring model. It's not a revolutionary bit of technology. Most marketing automation systems have this at one level or another, and this system does as well. But yeah, again, it's really pretty much meant to feed the lead scoring model and feed any kind of an alerting mechanism when you have certain prospects that are hitting your website, or if you do any kind of account-based marketing and you're looking for a specific company to visit your website, then this is useful that way as well.
Okay, great. And then, so something else I just wanted to touch on really quick before we open up for questions. So I talked about how it's important, we feel at Simplesoft, to align your lead process that you're working through the CRM to include these tools in Guru, right? So like Kevin had said, putting the forms on your website so that when someone completes a contact us, it auto maps them in, and using the hidden fields to go ahead and fill in some of the other data behind the scenes that's internal to your company, and then generating those automatic actions. And you can even, something that several of our customers use that I like a lot is, so you have a contact us page and someone fills it out, it maps in as a lead, and then InboxGuru automatically sends out a thank you for your interest, and it looks like it comes directly from the salesperson. So it would say, it would look like it would come just from me. It would have a signature in there with my cell phone and a little personal message that would say, hey, John, thanks for reaching out. I see you were interested in, X, whatever that contact us page is about. And you can put, I'll be in touch soon for a faster response. Feel free to text me on my cell phone, right? Whatever that messaging is. And you make that email look like it came from Outlook, right? So it doesn't, you can make it look like with pictures and links and things, or you can make it look like a personal Outlook email. And that's been something that a lot of our customers have had success using with InboxGuru and the landing pages.
True, and it's also, it's one of the reasons why these systems tend to perform better in business environments than, let's say, Constant Contact or MailChimp, is because you go through the process of doing the DNS and the SPF assignments so that the emails, even though they're being physically fulfilled by InboxGuru, which is a full ESP, email service provider, the emails do look to a recipient exactly like they're coming from you. And that plays a vital role in deliverability.
Yeah, yes, I agree. It doesn't say this email was sent on behalf of MailChimp at the bottom.
Correct.
Right.
Yep. So, and there's processes that you should go through. Like if you were to first set the system up, you begin what's called an IP warming process, where you start by sending out small batches of emails to the people who are least likely to unsubscribe from an email. So you kind of build credibility up for the IP as you first start. So there's some steps that kind of take you through to kind of make sure that you get up to a very high deliverability ranking or rating, I should say. And it's also, this is an industrial strength email tool. So in a user role, I use this tool myself for a very large company, and we were about 3 million emails per month, and never had an issue, never had a deliverability issue, never had never had any kind of a queuing issue or anything along those lines. It's an industrial strength application that's very easy to use. It just so happens to be very easy to use. So it's a nice. I don't know if any of you have databases that size, but it's good to know that it can handle the capacity if need be.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will open it up if anyone wants to either send to the chat box, or if you want to take yourself off of mute, if there's something, if you're a current user, if there's something you're struggling with, or you have a question, or if you're a prospective user. Let's go ahead and give you guys a second.
Hi, so I have a quick question. I am with a company and we're currently using Zoho campaigns because that's what we use for our CRM. But we were recently acquired, and this company that we're now with uses Infor. Is this kind of similar to Zoho campaigns? You know, one of the great things that we love about using the Zoho system is that there's an automatic sync from contacts in the CRM, but we can also upload lists as well from trade shows. Is that an option with this?
So Zoho campaigns is a good tool. I've used it myself, and you know, there's a lot of things about it I definitely like. It'll be a little bit different in how it handles the context. You know, the difference being InboxGuru actually is sitting inside of Infor, and it's sitting on top of the Infor CRM database. So fundamentally, it is using the Infor CRM database as its database. However, off to the side, tucked off to the side, there's this thing called personal lists. And what personal lists are, is let's say I go to a trade show and I get a list of people that stop by the booth and I don't want to put them into my CRM yet. I could put them into a staging area or a quote unquote personal list, mark it to them, and then if they, you know, if they respond, then I could put them into Infor. So at the end of the day, there is no synchronization of databases back and forth because it's a unified database. But if you want to keep something out of CRM, you do have the capability of doing that.
Okay, and now what about, can we send pretty much like the same campaign from different users at different times? So we do a lot of emergency response for hurricanes and whatnot, and anytime a hurricane comes around or there's a flood in a certain area or tornado, whatever it might be, we like to just get a, you know, a quick email out to our customers, just reminding them that we're here and these are our services. It goes directly from that rep and only hits our customers that are in that area, because we don't want to bog down, you know, people in California that don't care about a tornado in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes. Short answer, yes, okay. Exactly as you described.
Okay.
And that's where you can see here.
Questions. Okay.
You can select it to come from the lead or account manager. So whatever that contact, or sorry, that account, whoever it's assigned to in the CRM, it would come from them. Or you can select a common email, you know, say sales at your company or whatever.
Okay.
And that's where you'd really use, if you want to get state specific and things like that, you'd want to use your dynamic groups and build your groups out and then just pick, all right, here's our North Carolina list, pick that group, and then have it come from the rep that manages all of North Carolina.
Okay, and that's, with it being a dynamic group, it's not something that we would have to manually do each time. It would just, like if we want to just pull, you know, customers that are in North Carolina, as long as we have those filters set, it will automatically pull.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
okay.
The dynamic.
I want to make sure.
Yep, no problem.
Those are my two big, you know, features that we love about campaigns. You know, most email services are very similar, but those are the two things that we found that we really like and works for us. So I just want to make sure that that will be an option if we move to this system.
Yep, absolutely. And what's nice too is, so you can have your main dynamic group, right? And then say there's a real specific group from a trade show, maybe in North Carolina. You can go back after you start this campaign and you can add that subset list. So you can have it running to a dynamic group and a personal list of maybe 6 other contacts you want to receive it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
So one of the challenges that we've run into is new contacts always default to the do not solicit, do not email for adding new. So if it gets added through hyperlink from the contact us form on our website, do those boxes get checked as a new, just like a new contact would?
So I think what you're asking is when you're inputting, the do not solicit is automatically checking?
Correct.
So
all 4.
So just FYI, do you want that to happen?
No, I heard you can't change it.
You can. I can help you change that. So you first we can turn off that setting for you. And this way, so yes, you're correct. This way, when you grab from the web forms and it puts it in here, it does not do that.
Okay, perfect. Yes,
so,
we just.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I need to do that.
What was your name? I'm sorry.
Emily with Casco.
Oh, Emily. Oh, yes. I will help you with that, Emily.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else have anything or just feedback or anything they want to see? Or Kevin, anything to add?
No, I think you did a great job, Jessica, covering everything. So good on my part.
All right. Last chance. Anybody have anything else? Otherwise, we'll let you guys go 15 minutes early. And again, I'll send out the follow-up that'll have the link to this. We're going to send out a survey. If you wouldn't mind answering just a couple of questions to help us know what topics all of you would be interested in for us to host some webinars on going forward. And, you know, a way to reach me if you have any follow-up questions on if you want a personalized, more in-depth demo or to take some more time and talk about just your company, let me know that as well. So, well, thanks so much, Kevin, and thanks everyone for joining today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Bye-bye.